Hey guys, it's good to see you. I have a couple of messages for you guys. I just want to say the last 2 weeks have been so energetically all over the place and exhausting at times and uplifting at times and just really like a roller coaster ride. So I'm sure you guys have been feeling this. I have been feeling it too. And so I've been processing a lot for the last 2 weeks, a lot. But I have good news for you guys, okay? And I just want to start this message. This is a message from Christ, by the way. But I want to start this message by saying that every message that I am sharing on my page is connected to the awakening and remembrance of humanity's true origins, okay? It is connected to the sightings of the craft in the sky, as well as the orbs and the veil thinning. People starting to notice consciousness everywhere, in the clouds, in the trees, all over the place, okay? All of this, what, in my world, what we would classify as almost like metaphysical things, are going to tie into the Christ message, okay? Because you have to understand, we're dealing with very, very ancient beings who have been in this realm and others for ever, okay? So these messages, I think a lot of times maybe people don't understand even Christ and his connection to the stars and his connection to the interdimensionals and extraterrestrials and his knowledge of the mysticism of the ancient Egyptians and just all of that, okay? So this is one of the reasons why I feel called to share messages about Christ consciousness, because I feel like it's going to be central to what's happening right now. All right, so I don't even know how to put all this in a message, but I'm just going to say this, okay? Because I've been told by my guides not to say exactly what I saw in the dream because some information is sensitive, okay? 222 as I said that. But I will tell you that in the last 10 days, maybe more, I'm hearing like 11, 12 days, okay? A major activation happened with Christ. And I know it was Christ because of the way he showed it to me in the dream. And I feel like, yeah, they're saying this is the beginning of the end of the hold that this darkness had on humanity. And I know we've been going through this awakening for a long time, some of us very long time, like some of us all of our lives. But whatever happened this last 10 days, this was pivotal, very pivotal, okay? Yeah, I'm hearing tipping the scales in the favor of light and truth, okay? So I just want to talk about a couple of things really. One of them is that there are subterranean beings helping right now. 333 as I'm saying this. They are extremely psychic, very advanced beings. And they are sort of doing like these little cleanup projects all over the place in various frequencies, okay? So I know some of this is quantum science and doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but we are not all living in the same frequency. Bottom line, okay? Just everyone has their own frequency. You will generally be around and attract those who are in your frequency, okay? So this is why it's necessary when a planet awakens, when a whole millions and billions and, really beyond that, trillions of consciousness awakens, it is necessary for there to be many layers, multiple layers of cleanup, okay? And so this is a very complex process. When humanity cries out, so to speak, to God and says, when, why, how long is it going to take? We've all had those questions, okay? But what I'm seeing through spirit is that it is a many-layered process to correct the frequencies here. But we are making extreme progress. And what we did in the last 10 days, as hell crazy as it looked, is working, okay? So something very powerful happened. And I feel that it's going to surface a lot. And I have been told for years that there will be ancient artifacts and certain items, okay, that are very important for the truth to come out for humanity, okay? And those items will actually be rising up from the earth, okay? So just think of it like they're going to make discoveries of like ships they've never seen before, even like not just like craft and alien craft, that's a thing already, okay? But like old like vessels, boats that carried certain important artifacts will be surfacing, okay? But also things in the land, okay? Like random places that you didn't know was a sacred site that was obliterated in the last reset, okay? Those areas still contain sacred artifacts, and those things will be rising, okay? And there will be no one to stop it, because this is all energetically connected to Earth's body, okay? So her frequency, she's showing me sort of bringing forth things from her belly. Like she's showing it like, they will not stop this. I will birth the truth. She will birth this truth, okay? The reason why truth is so important, I know a lot of people would just love to just, you know, get rid of darkness, move on. You have to see, everyone has to see their entanglement, their own entanglement in the systems that were not true, in the systems that were perpetuating darkness, okay? If you don't see that, there can be no cleanup and start over. Does that make sense? So when you have millions of humans in a belief system, and I mean many belief systems, typically like religious belief systems, but this could be also political systems. This can be just even medical systems, like false ideas of what heals the body versus what really heals the body, okay? In all these systems, you're going to have truths, okay? Like aspects of it that are true, just like sometimes I will quote certain scriptures because certain scriptures are true. But also in these systems, you're going to have entanglements of lies, okay? The reason why it's super important to see the lies is if you don't expose that, then people are going to continue to practice dark ritual without their knowledge because they're ignorant. And I'm saying this as lovingly as possible, okay? So basically, when they don't know that what they're doing is dark and they continue to do it, what system are they feeding? Darkness. So this is why artifacts and proof of like what really happened here on this planet is so important. This is why there's been such an attempt to cover up ancient archaeology, okay? And if you kind of dive into that a little bit, you'll see those people, those scientists have fought tooth and nail to try to change the narrative and show people what really happened here. And there were systems up against them that wouldn't let them do it. That's falling. That's changing. They can no longer stop it. One of the reasons is social media. We can get the information out there so fast, they can't stop this. They created their own monster, didn't they? They activated social media to try to control humanity, and all it's doing is awakening us. And I love that. I'm like, that's right. Turn them over on their heads. Yeah. Every tool they've formed against God, and that was prophesied, every tool they have formed against humanity, which are the children of God, okay, which are all life combined, which is every realm, every place, every sacred frequency, okay? Every tool they have formed against us will fail. Isn't that what the Bible said? Everything they have done to try to take over humanity will turn them on their heads. And it's happening. I love it. I'm here for it. Let's freaking go. Because I'm friggin' tired. I've been seeing this crap all my life. I'm so ready to see humanity rise and be at peace and have everything they need and joy and happiness and all the things they deserve. I am so ready to see the emancipation of humanity. Are you ready? Okay? So here's the thing. This is what God keeps telling me. You must break down your belief systems. You must, even if you think you're awakened, even if you went through a Kundalini awakening and, you know, you're there, you're realizing there's all these lies, there are still things all of us are disentangling, okay? So the best thing you can do, what Jesus said, is be like a child. Be like a child. This is why he taught this, okay? Remember, when a system goes after a man the way they went after Jesus and tries to completely silence him, tries to kill him, tries to do all these things, that's the man you need to be looking at, paying attention to, because he's saying something that would change the world. And he said, be like a child. Children don't have belief systems. They don't have a religion. They don't have political views. They don't know any difference between them and any other child, even if the child looks different. 10-10 as I'm saying this, okay? They are like God. They are pure love. They don't have fear. So as much as possible, when you're going through your meditations and you're going through your awakening or your prayer, or if you're still very religious and you stumble across this message, ask God to show you the truth and don't be afraid to let go, because you're going to see there are things that are going to have to fall off. If you do this, you may be blessed enough to see the liberation of humanity. If you're willing to let go of just the thought that you think you know everything about God, or you think you know everything about religion, or you think you know everything about Jesus. And people do think this, you guys. And I'm saying this because the moment you tell them something different, okay, their head starts spinning. They can't even they're like, what? Mother Mary is a goddess? Yes, she is. Yes, she's a water goddess. She's a myrrh. She's a myrrh bearer. Wake up, folks. When they start hearing this stuff, they don't know they just can't handle it, okay? So if you want to pivot and change, if you want to heal even, if you want to heal your body, the fastest way to do any of this is to disentangle from what you think you know. And to just go to God and say, I'm approaching the source of all knowledge and wisdom. And that's very important because there's many gods, many entities, many entanglements here that are trying to control humanity. Okay, you're trying to get to source, true God source. To do that, you got to let go of the belief systems. As soon as you're holding on to belief systems, you're holding on to potential entities that come with that belief system. And I've seen this in my own life. I've liberated myself from things throughout my awakening, and every time that next level comes, I see major improvement, okay? So I'm speaking from experience. So there's a scripture I want to tell you that Jesus, it's very beautiful, actually, and it's all in Luke chapter 19. I really think this is worth reading because this is when he comes into the temple and condemns the temple, okay? And he overturns the tables and he says, you have made my father's house a cave of robbers. Now, he eventually revealed to me the real meaning of what he was saying. And he was talking about the feminine. He basically turned them upside down by saying, you robbed the feminine. You robbed the people, the bride, the feminine. Okay. What represented the feminine? Humanity. Okay. So there's more to that scripture than that. But the reason why I want to read it is it's important for everyone to understand. And this is for all people, by the way, of all religions. My messages are always for everyone. I do not favor anyone over another. I just think we're all here to help each other, okay? So the scripture is Luke chapter 19, verse 40, okay? And he's talking about what happened is he was performing miracles. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees came up to him. These were the religious leaders of their day. This would be like archbishops, priests, okay, ministers of any kind, maybe even like the Pope, okay, if you're getting into like higher up, coming up to him and saying, and this is what they said to him, and this is in Luke chapter 19, you can go read this for yourself. They said, rebuke them and hush them up. They shouldn't be telling you you're doing miracles and that you come from God. That's blasphemy. That's what they said. So as Christ came through the crowds and is like healing people, waking them up, telling them the truth, doing his thing, sharing his light, being a light worker, which he was, okay? They tell him, rebuke them. Now, first of all, he didn't take his orders from the freaking Pharisees, and neither do we, okay? So he's like, no, I'm not saying that. You know what he says to them? And this is what I'm reading to you guys. He says, I tell you today, if these were silent, in other words, if the people didn't cry out in praise over the healing they're receiving, even the very stones would cry out. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. So if the people didn't say it, nature, life, all life would cry out to the glory of God, of the truth of what is possible and of what has really happened. Do you know who has been here all this time witnessing the rise and fall of humanity over and over? Mother Earth. All the nature beings, trees, animals, her, the rocks, the stones, all of them having consciousness, all of them being part of the creation of God, have witnessed what's happened here. And you carry all those memories in your DNA, by the way. So what Jesus is saying is, even if no one said anything, the stones would cry out my message. Okay? So guess what's happening? This is why the rumbling, the trembling, the vibrations of earth are increasing. She will bring up these artifacts. She will show all the truth. She will lay it bare. Okay? Because this is done. It's done. We are moving into a new age, cosmically as well. Okay? Everyone has to either wake up or fall off, and that's just where we're at. It's not even about judgment. It's about vibration. If you can't oscillate high enough, you will not shift. Okay? And oscillation is what light does. It vibrates, it moves, it's in constant motion. Okay? So the more light that your body can embody through enlightenment, through rising in your frequency, which it requires healing and witnessing of yourself, okay? That's a whole nother video. You can go back and look at some of my other videos because they're all about it, okay? But the more you can witness yourself, go in there, do the work, see your shadows, see your darkness, calibrate yourself, work within yourself, go within where the kingdom lives, like Christ said. Go inside and find the kingdom of God living within you. Face yourself, clean house, and rise. Then you embody more light. This is what ascension is, okay? And so, Jesus and all of the mystic Essenic Jews of that time were ascension masters. They knew how to ascend. This is why his coming into our realm was so important, okay? Because carrying the knowledge of how to lift yourself up, okay, through inward work is sacred, hidden knowledge that has been covered up for a long time, okay? All right, so, all right, I don't even know if I want to put this in the second message or this message, or maybe one big one. Let me think about it. I'm going to give you an example, okay? Because I want to read you two more things. So this is the same chapter, okay? Give me 1 second, I'm going to pause it. Okay, I found it. I just want to read to you this one more part. It just, something about it, okay? So it's after Jesus tells them, I tell you today, even if they don't say anything, the rocks will cry out, right? They will say my message, okay? As he approached Jerusalem and saw the city, he wept over it and said, if you, even you, had only known on this day what would bring you peace, but now it is hidden from your eyes. If only you could see what was hidden from your eyes. Okay? Do you get the message? We are not here to see what's visibly around us. We're here to see what's possible. Okay? He's bringing up another scripture, but I'm going to read this for you first. He said, okay, let me find it. 1 second, you guys. He's talking about the destruction of Jerusalem, which was a prophecy that actually was fulfilled, a long time ago. But I want to read you this one part. Okay, verse 47. It just, my heart, when I read it, I was just like, oh my God. It said every day he was teaching at the temple. You guys realize what he sacrificed coming here, trying to wake people up, okay? And they're still not awake. That's the most ridiculous thing. But anyway, every day he was teaching at the temple, but the chief priest and teachers of the law and leaders among the people were trying to kill him. Yet they could find not any way to do it because all the people hung on his words. So see, the thing about Jesus was he was so true. He was so true that the people loved him. The regular people, the common people, which, by the way, is who we are here for. This is who the chosen have come to help. The common people, the real heart and soul of Mother Earth, the people. Okay? And so it just disgusts me when I think about these priests, and even now, what they're willing to do to try to control and maintain power just freaking gets me going, you guys. I'm like, really? You're going to sit there and in front of a miracle worker, the most loving man, the most kind man, and you're going to try to kill him because he's helping people? What a freaking joke, okay? And it surprises me to this day that people read the Bible and they still don't see the corruption in religion. They don't see the toggle for power. I was thinking about this the other day. I have known many a good priest, okay, by the way, and minister. There are many good people in religion. Many, you guys. That's what's confusing everybody. They'll be like, well, I love my church. I'm sure you do. What you love is the people, okay? What you're not seeing is what's behind the curtain, okay? The story of Oz and what's behind it. 2020 vision. I just, as I'm saying that, it said 2020, okay? You don't see behind the curtain. If you're still stuck in religion, then you haven't seen what it's done to humanity. And I'm not talking about the good aspect of community and being together and praying together. That's beautiful, guys. We're not talking about that. Behind the scenes, the abuse of children, the abuse of women, okay? The taking of your money and not giving it back to the community. The real estate business that's behind religion. The sheer real estate business. How much do they own? And how much money do they have while there are people on this planet that don't have food? This is what Jesus was talking about. This is the very chapter where he said, my house, listen, he said, my house was meant to be a house of prayer. He was talking about the temple. But you made it a den of robbers. And they didn't just take people's money, they took their souls. This is what Jesus showed me. This is what they did to the martyrs. They did it. Who tried to kill Jesus? The religions. That's who killed the martyrs. Everybody thinks it was these, I don't even know what they think. They're blaming it on like natural religion or witches or whatever. No, babies. It was your religions that did it. That's who did it. And so, and I want to be clear because I just said this, I'm going to say it again. There are so many good, what I would consider entry level, like priests or ministers that truly love God, that truly love the people, and they are trying to help. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about who's above your head. Okay? That all has to get exposed. And the way it's going to get exposed is what Jesus showed me in dreams this week. All these artifacts and the proof of extraterrestrials and the proof of their technology and the proof of all the ancient stories, 2222, as I said that. That's all it's going to take, you guys. They have to see. They have to see that everything was a lie and a cover-up. And that if you actually would read any holy book, okay, I'm using the Bible because I grew up reading the Bible, but you could, of any religion, if you went back and looked up the prophecies and, did some research, I'm sure you could probably find connections very similar to any scriptural book, okay? If you went back and read the Bible not as what you were told it was, but more as a record of a much older, longer, ancient story, okay, of genetic mutation and interference with the original human DNA, okay, and interference with the light and an attempt to harness atomic structure. And I know that's going to sound whatever to whoever's not ready for it, but if you're ready for it, that's what it's about, okay? And so when you start waking up to that, then you'll understand why Jesus had to talk in riddles and he had to teach in very baby ways, because these people weren't ready for quantum science. They weren't, but it was happening all around them, whether they were ready for it or not. And that's what's happening now, okay? So this is why, it really is, it is necessary to surrender your fears, okay? And just look at God and just be like, source of all knowledge and wisdom, I'm here for it. Show me what the real truth is. And God's going to give it to you in a way that you can handle it. Your higher self is always running the show, okay? So your higher self is going to start giving you little baby pieces of food and be like, hey, think about this. Is this real? And they're going to make you start questioning. You have to question or you'll never wake up. And for my stargazers who want more interaction with extraterrestrials, consider what I'm saying to be a path to get you that more connection that you're wanting. The more you surrender any preconceived ideas you have, the more interaction you're going to get. Okay. And so I just, I'm excited. I'm actually very excited about this, but I will tell you, it's been a hell of a 2 weeks. Tired as hell, you guys. I mean, just like, because I'm in vision state like constantly. So my activation is so strong right now. At this point, I'm getting messages like all the time. So I'm just like in need of rest, staying grounded, and then maintaining my life, my business and my children and my husband. So I'm just like, woo, okay, we got to rest a little bit, right? But the point of all of that is we're on the cusp of something incredible. It's happening. Okay? Get yourself ready. And if my words and God's words and Jesus's words can give you any direction, it would be let go. Let go of what you thought you knew. Okay? And just trust. Trust that you are loved. And there are many here assisting the planet and you. Okay? And there is so much effort going into your liberation and your freedom and the real potential for this planet. Okay? I think it's actually incredible, but it is so necessary. Yeah, they're saying, please take care of yourself. Rest. Eat good food. Ground your mind, right? Just really connect with nature. That's going to bring you the peace you're looking for right now. You're not going to see it around. Not right now. Not yet. Okay? Go inside. Into your heart. Find God within you. That is where your miracles are going to start happening. Okay? And really get yourself ready. Okay? Because something amazing is about to happen. I feel it. So, I don't know if that message makes any sense. I know there's a lot there, but it's something God told me I had to say. And I'm happy to be the messenger of God. And I love you all so much. And I just want to see the best for all of you. That's what I want. That's what I'm dancing for when I dance in the garden and praying for. And that's the space in my womb that I hold for humanity. Is for love and healing and empowerment. Okay? Yeah, he's talking about... he's talking about... I'm going to say it in both messages. That way... hopefully more people will hear it. He's talking about one more thing. Okay. I'll put it in the second message too. He said, what the dark agenda wanted was the Great Reset again, because they've done it many times. Okay. And that is what we will not give them. We will not. Okay. So what they were hoping was to make the world look so bad, to make the ugly so dark that we just wanted it destroyed. That no one would speak up about the potential for humanity. They did not expect our mercy and our love and our grace to go so far-reaching. And they wanted to basically wipe out the memories and all the knowledge and information, and they've done it before. The last time was in the 1700s, and my guides told me this. Okay? And they are not going to be allowed to do it. This is what Christ is also taking charge of, because the artifacts are already there. I'm seeing left and right people posting about ancient Bibles they have, really old ones. They're posting the page. They're scanning the documents. They're sharing it everywhere. The information is getting wild, okay? That's what has to happen. Everybody has to be able to have access to these things, right? So he essentially said to me, they wanted to do a great reset, Miranda, and you said no. Because every time they reset humanity, they take over. And they control and they enslave everyone, okay? And what they were hoping was that all these good-hearted people would be so distraught over all the terrible things that they're seeing, okay, that they would just give up and not care. But that's not what's going to happen. We're here for it, okay? We're here to bring humanity through this mud, through this darkness, into light, okay? So, yeah, because I asked him, because I was like, wait, because I've seen so many timeline splits. I was like, okay, I already know there's timelines where this isn't happening, okay? We're in the timeline where it is happening. And the reason is because we love you, okay? And we want to see the rise. And we're here for it, because resets don't work. All they do is enslave humanity. All that happens is those that are oppressed and don't know anything and don't have any knowledge of what to do get taken over, and we can never allow this again, okay? There's so many people on this planet that need liberation right now, especially so many women and children, okay? So the best thing you can do is stay grounded, stay stable, and carry hope in your heart for humanity. If you don't believe it's possible, it won't be. But if you believe, this is what Jesus taught, your faith can move mountains. So that is the number one thing we should all be focused on. What do we hope for our brothers and sisters? What do we hope for you all of us? Everyone. We can dream, okay? And that's how we create. All right? So that's super important. Yeah. I'm going to make the second message. I hope this all is coming together. They're telling me to pull one card. Which one? Okay. This is actually one of my Egyptian decks. All right. Okay, so I'm going to show you the picture. Let me make sure, because sometimes this one, okay. This is the Eye of Horus. You know, in some traditions, people believed that Horus was Christ. You can actually do some research on that. But it says the Eye of Horus brings divine protection, divine perception, protection, and insight. You are gifted with certain spiritual abilities, including divine sight, okay, that are awakening and growing now. You have much divine support and protection so that you may grow your abilities and serve others with your divine gifts. This is beautiful. Trust your perception and know that you are divinely protected. Yes. And I love that. And I feel like everybody needs that reassurance right now. You are so loved. I feel so much love for all of you through my heart, from heaven, you guys, from the inner kingdom. There's so much love, every single one of you. So move forward, knowing you are supported, you are protected. God is all around you right now, just saying, go, go, go. You can do it, okay? So we can. So just remember that. What a beautiful picture. Look at this beautiful art. Beautiful. All right. That's perfect. I'm gonna do the second message, and I urge you, please, to share these messages, okay? So if I say it's something that really helped you, or pushed you to grow, or opened your eyes to something, then someone else needs to hear it too, okay? So please share this message if it resonates. And yeah, let's get ready for it. Something awesome is coming, okay? I love you guys.